No, absolutely. I think your life is at the mercy of what you see. All right. So everything we are today, at least 80% of them, we saw it. Funny enough, I remember about 3 years ago, I think 3 or 4 years ago, I was still a student and really going through a very difficult time at the moment. And then the struggle was so much. I never had anything at the time. But I remember when I was designing the vision board in 2020, I had written a certain amount that I wanted to have. All right. But at the time I had written it, it really sounded ridiculous because I didn't even have even a penny or whatever, or not even to speak about the source of income. There was nothing like that. But I had written it by faith and I had seen it, even though not physical. Now, fast forward 4 years back, I was speaking to another young man. We're sitting in the car, and then I was like, no, it's very important to write vision and stuff like that. I was like, no, actually, let me go back to the vision board I had written 4 years ago.
Hi guys, welcome back to our show.
What's happening, everybody? Boys to men, we're back at it.
Yeah, it has been a while,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we've been really struggling with our schedule to see the appropriate time to actually shoot.
Yeah.
But we are here and we got a new episode for you so that you can enjoy and learn from it.
Yeah. Also, would really like to hear from you guys from the episode that we've done in the past. When should I leave my parents' house amongst the many that we've recorded?
Who's my friend?
Who is my friend? It would be nice to really just hear from you what it's been for you to drop a comment. You can maybe even drop us a message on our Instagram, from Boys to 101, just to hear how beneficial this has been to you. And if you have any suggestion, we're very much open to receiving from you.
Yeah, and recently, as Meshach mentioned that he met up with some stranger that told him, I saw your video on TikTok from Boys to Men show.
Man. It was amazing because I don't know this person, never met them, and then they were like, "No, I know you." I said, from Boys to Men. I was like, "Oh wow!" It was such a privilege to know that, beyond the people or the geographical location of the people that we know, there are also other people outside of our boundaries that are actually listening and are being inspired or blessed one way or the other. So thank you again.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, by the way.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support. So let's get into it. So today's episode is actually...
So the episode is, why is it important for a young man to have vision and dreams? Ooh. When I was thinking of this topic, I was like, yo, this one's going to be fire,
Yeah, definitely. So tell us, Meshach, what is a vision?
Yes, I think before I even jump into that, there's a narrative, especially in the African context, where people or young men or young women, they only seem to come off, how can I put it, to become serious with their life when they reach a certain age, given like maybe late 20, 30, and so on. But now if you go in other parts of the world, we see young people as young as 18, 19, making huge things. By the time they get to 30, it's as if they've completed life already, with the wealth of experience that they've gained. And then, upon observing the two groups of people, I've realized that the one group, they get to understand the vision earlier than the other. You see, for instance, if you become the average African person, at the age of 25, 26, he's still roaming around, doesn't really know what to do. It's only when he gets to his 30, 35, maybe he begins to think, oh no, actually, I need to buy a house, I need to get married, and so on. But now, why is it important for young people to have vision? So let me define vision. So according to the dictionary, vision is the act or power of sensing with the eyes or sight. Now, the second definition, it speaks about the act or power of anticipating which will or may come to be. So in other words, a picture of something that you are seeing, okay, that is not yet there, all right, but you are seeing it and it's giving you a perception of what can be. Yes, so that's basically what vision is.
Yeah, that's so true. Because the other aspect, as he was speaking, he mentioned young men and looking at them reaching to a specific age, then they start actually looking forward to actually finding the vision. The most important aspect about the vision is it's actually elaborate, it clarify your purpose. You see, that's the other thing, you see. So when you think of a vision, it is related to purpose, you know.
Yes,
like for
yes,
example,
yes.
along the way, when we get to a certain phase, school, relationship, and all of those things,
Yeah.
when we actually choose those, we make decisions towards those things, it because we see ourselves already being able to accomplish those specific tasks. Becoming a husband, it's something that started as a vision, and
Yes.
later on become a husband. Later on, when you then graduated, you started it as a vision. You saw yourself as being a doctor, studying medicine,
Yes.
and later on becoming a
Become
doctor.
it. Yes.
You see, so that's something that people shouldn't just neglect, you know,
Yeah.
especially as a young man. It's something to really look into, because along the journey, as you get married, definitely you will be the one that the wife will follow the vision. But when you lack of a vision,
Yeah.
it's really misleads, you know, later on your relationship or your marriage.
Yes. No, absolutely. I think your life is at the mercy of what you see. All right. So everything we are today, at least 80% of them, we saw it. You know, funny enough, I remember about 3 years ago, I think 3 or 4 years ago, I was still a student and really going through a very difficult time at the moment. And then the struggle was so much. I never had anything at the time. But I remember when I was designing the vision board in 2020, I'd written a certain amount that I wanted to have. All right. But at the time I'd written it, it really sounded ridiculous because I didn't even have even a penny or whatever, you know, or not even to speak about the source of income. There was nothing like that. But I had written it by faith, and I had seen it, you know, even though not physical. Now, fast forward 4 years back, I was speaking to another young man. We're sitting in the car, and then I was like, no, it's very important to write vision and stuff like that. I was like, no, actually, let me go back to the vision board I had written 4 years ago. I kid you not. The moment I opened that vision board and I went on to the amount I had written 4 years ago, I was shocked. Me and the boy, we were shocked. I was like, no, this thing, I wrote it 4 years ago, and this is what I'm seeing right now. This is what I'm living right now. So you see, so your life is really at the mercy of what you see. So before you can get anywhere in life, you see, the way things work is, you know, life is both spiritual and physical. And I think we've discussed it in some of our show that it's first in the spiritual realm, then it's moved to the physical realm. So in other words, if you want things to be seen in the physical realm, they need to be conceived from a place that is not seen.
True.
You see, it explains why someone can have nothing today, but is able to see in the spiritual realm and transport what is there into the physical realm. And that's what we call faith. But now, when God wants to help young people, what he first gives them is vision. The ability to see. If you have something to add.
True. And as you were mentioning, you say that something that you wrote 4 years ago, but you were able to actually start living it. And the other aspect that people should understand, that there's a process that it takes to actually accomplish your vision. Vision is something that has phases. You see, so there's a phase that you're actually going to accomplish, for example, 20% of what you're visioning for it to accomplish. And later on, like for example, for him to see it 4 years after, that means that there were certain phases that he actually faced, you know. So those phases comes with discipline. So when you think of a vision, you need to look at the aspect of being disciplined also, so that you can be able to reach to reach your accomplishment of accomplishing that vision, you see. So that's what we would like to actually share with you, is that when you have a vision, be disciplined towards it also. You know, like for example, your timing, you know, like for example, where you expend your time, what is it that you're investing in yourself that is actually aligning with your vision? Because vision is what gives you a position, it gives you a shape, you see. Because if we go to the Bible in the book of Proverbs, we see that God says, my people perish because lack of knowledge, vision, you see. So that's the other meaning for that verse. It means that my people perish because lack of vision, you see. Because once you have a vision, you're able to actually how can I say, have a purpose, have a direction, and that direction comes with discipline, because you believe in it, You see, so yeah, that's something that I just wanted to add along what you mentioned.
Very true. In line also with what you say, because life is purpose, and then purpose has got a timeline. One of the things that really it kind of annoys me a lot to see how people live life so relaxed, as if they're here to stay forever. I'm like, my man, you're here for a certain period of time. If Jesus does not come back, you're gonna die. So it means, so it means you got to do what you got to do. Stop living as if you are here to stay forever.
Yeah.
And the only thing that makes you to live effectively and to use your time effectively, if there's a vision oriented to it. So maybe you may be asking, sitting at home, you guys are speaking about vision, and so how do I conceive a vision? Okay. And another thing before we even get there, imagine a 20-year-old and a 65-year-old sitting together. You see, if we have to speak in terms of timeline, okay, the 20-year-old, we would say that he still got a considerable amount of time to accomplish something. Because when you're 65, there's a lot of things that becomes a bit harder to accomplish than when you're young. You see, so now the person who is 20, okay, it will be at their advantage to get the vision early so that they don't waste their years. So now imagine now at 65, you wasted all the 65 years gallivanting around, doing things that have no purpose. And at 65-year-old, you receive Jesus. Now, there were things you were supposed to know already when you were 20, but now you are 65. You see, so already time becomes a constraint for you. So there, God has to work out miracle, things like acceleration, because your age is now a disadvantage. So that's why when you are young, believe me, you want to grasp that vision early. There's something that a great speaker said. He says, you are born looking like your parent, but you die looking like your decision. So in other words, it means when you're born, you look like your mom and dad. But when you're dying, it's the decision that you've made in your life. So the question may be, how do I get vision? How do I conceive my vision? What does it mean to have a vision?
Yeah, like from the question that you just mentioned, you said, how do I conceive a vision? So the vision, first of all, starts by you being able to acknowledge it. You see, being able to when a vision becomes to the point of making you having like a sleepless night. Being able to worry, whereby you always trying as much as to see this vision coming to an accomplishment. You see, so once you're able to actually see that, grasp it. You see, once you grasp it, it's gonna align you to the point whereby you can be able to now set priorities on what you should allow or you shouldn't allow.
Absolutely.
You see, as he was mentioning, there's also a great speaker that came in my mind that he once said, a woman and a man that has a vision lives a narrow life. A life whereby it's already straightened, a life that is actually have steps, so all those things are the things that helps you to actually keep your vision, to actually cherish your vision and walk according to your vision. And people that live loose life are those ones that you find them everywhere for no reason. But when you have someone that's actually have a vision, someone it gets to the point also of, establishing a time plan, as you mentioned, and establishing, there's a list there. Like, for example, they'll choose what to read, what they invest in themselves. They'll do everything that actually aligns to actually them reaching out to their vision. Like, for example, if you're aiming to become an entrepreneur, you will invest in shows that they speak about entrepreneurship. You're becoming a businessman. So all of those things goes along you with being able to actually reach out to your vision. And that's how you keep your vision. Like, for example, you can find yourself in an environment where there's so much friends, you guys are having fun, but when it reaches like your time that you have set aside to go do research on your vision, things will align with your life. And that also brings respect towards people. You see, like, for example, people can see you out there, but they look at you, they say, oh no, that guy is actually aligned, his life is in order. Why? Because he has a vision where he's heading to,
Yes, no, absolutely. Like we said, because life is measurable. God has sent you here for a purpose. So you want to get the vision so you can live, how can I say, effectively. So another way also you can get your vision or your purpose is largely related to your potentials. It's very important to understand this. You see, potentials are not your calling. They are tools. Okay? They are tools that you use in order to execute the calling.
Yeah, skills. And
like
stuff,
for instance, someone can say, "No, I can sing, so my purpose is to sing." Not necessarily. You know, the ability to sing is a tool to fulfill your purpose. You see, you know. So as far as everything is concerned, right? Vision is grasped from God Himself, because He created us and He gave us the vision and so on. So the first way to start is, first of all, to seek from Him. All right. And then secondly is to observe what are the potentials that He's given you. For instance, you find yourself, you know, I always was speaking with someone. For me, for instance, when I look at, when I do a list of all my potential, I know the things that I'm good at, and I know the things that, you know, it's still a work in progress. One of them, I know that you could wake me up at any moment. I will teach. It flows naturally. But it does not mean that my purpose is to teach. No, my purpose is to glorify Jesus. But the tools to use is the ability to teach. You see, that's the thing. So when you observe your potential, some of you can walk into this room, in as much as we think we have such a nice setup, but you would have ideas more than what we have here.
Yeah.
And you're able to turn this place around. You see, so that's already an indication of where your vision or where you could grasp your vision from, your purpose. It becomes an indication. You know, a lot of us, we want to go to school, which is not bad, to become a doctor, to become an engineer and stuff like that. The value of school is in its ability to contribute in your vision. Because if you're studying something that has got nothing related to what you are called for, even though it may give you money, but you will live an unfulfilled life.
True.
You see, so the value of whatever you are acquiring, the intelligence, the knowledge, is to refine what you already have inside of you. So I usually ask people to do this exercise. Sit down, take a piece of paper, write 5 of your potentials. Okay, if you don't know it, maybe get to speak to the people close to you, your parents, the people that value you. Ask them, when you see me, you know, what are the top 3 things you see that I'm good at? You'll be shocked. People tell you, no, you really know how to communicate, you know, you know how to network. You see, so that's a potential. Then that potential then will eventually align you to the vision that you can see. You see some people, okay, before I even jump there, potential then secondly is imagination. You know, ever since I was growing up, I always saw myself as a speaker before I could even have the refine my ability to speak. It always used to flash out in your mind. Some of you sit there, you always see yourself writing, you know, you always see yourself owning a business, you know. Those pictures are flashing. That's God speaking to you. God speaks through imagination. Yes, I think I'm going to stop here to allow you to jump in as well. Otherwise, I'll keep going.
Yeah, I get you. And I get like everything that you mentioned. And something that I just wanted to add, there's actually 3 phases when it comes to actually accomplishing the vision.
Yes.
Which I would say there's a purpose, there's a mission, and there's a vision.
Yes.
That's the reason why you see even if you go on a company website, they always when you go to About Us page, they always speak about their vision and their mission. Mission is you're working towards your vision.
Yes.
And your purpose is actually you being able to actually find like those images, you know, you flashing. So when you grasp it, it actually gonna be the time whereby you focus on the mission of making it to come alive, and your vision will continue. So vision is something that you always see ahead. You know, so it doesn't mean that the fact that you see something now, it's probably the last stage of that vision. Vision is something that will continue and actually going beyond as long as you exist and you live. So that's something that you should also consider in looking at.
That's the thing. So it means, just as we mentioned, those pictures that are coming in you. You know, if the devil wants to make you useless, or if he wants to attack you, he blocks your imagination. You can't see life beyond where you are anymore. You see, everything becomes restricted, you know, and then some of the most, one of the biggest stages of our life, especially when we are young. Remember when you were young, You had rich imagination. You saw yourself as many things. That was God speaking to you. But now, as you begin to grow up, the reality of life begin to stuff, the pictures that you used to see. And then you find yourself just living life by default. You see, let me tell you, those things you used to see while being young, when life was not a factor, those were God communicating to you. Some of you are sitting there. You've seen yourself, sitting with the big people. The Bible says your gift will open, will make you sit with the kings and so on. That's the vision that God is giving you. That, it's important to see it. That's the first state, Once you see it, then the value of the mission, the value of the strategy, the value of the discipline becomes an advantage for you, because there are people who are disciplining the wrong thing. You see, there are people who apply a lot of good stuff, good strategy, but in things that they were never called. You see, so the most important thing is first to see. If you cannot see, God helps people to see. Take time. That's why meditation is very important. Taking time alone is to first conceive. What is my life? What is the purpose of my life? What is my life counting for?
In conclusion to our show today, this episode, we believe that every single thing that we have mentioned in this episode was really enlightening to you, our viewers, to understand the true purpose of the vision, having a vision. So there's certain key points that we just wanted to state out is that vision, it's everything for humankind, a person's life, you see. So vision, it's what will allow you to actually walk on earth with a purpose. So those are the things that you should remember. And the some 2 points that I wanted to state is that remember, once you have your vision, look at your surrounding. And the other thing is that also think of your time. You see, so those are the 2 things that I wanted just to state. So your time, why do I mention time? It because remember that you, as a person that already has a vision, you are aiming to reach somewhere. So the time around you becomes very crucial for you to really make it, align to the timing that you want to reach out to your vision. And the other point is also people. Why people? Because the surroundings are what actually flourish your vision, you see. So the more you expose yourself with people actually that are aligning you to reach your vision, it's key points. And the other last aspect, which we mentioned, the verse which God said, people that lack of people perish because lack of vision, knowledge. So those are the things that you should invest in yourself, more timing in the presence of God, more understanding also, and reading what aligns to your vision. So I believe Mesha can just conclude with the last saying that he has.
Just as Jonathan said, I think vision is the most important thing in this life. When Jesus comes back, there won't really be individual visions anymore because he's already there. But as far as you're in this world, your success or the accomplishment of your mission is at the mercy of what you see. So if you don't see anything yet, pray to God. He gives vision. He says in the book of Joel, I will pour my spirit upon all flesh. And then when he speaks about young men, he says, your young man shall see vision. Why? Because when you're a young man, you need to have a vision so that you can live your life effectively. And just like I mentioned earlier, what are your potentials? Okay. What are the things that comes naturally to you? And just in closing, the most precious commodity on earth are natural resources. You don't get them outside. So it means some of your most precious commodity that you have inside of you are not the things that you're going to learn in school. No. Oil comes from the earth. Diamond comes from the earth. Gold comes from the earth. We just refine them and then it becomes valuable. So your potentials are your natural resources or your divine resources that God has given you. So harness them, refine them. They will become the tool to accomplish the vision that God has given you. Thank you so much again for joining us. We really are grateful for all of our subscribers. Please don't forget to subscribe once more. Share this video, and I believe it to be a blessing to all of us. Thank you again.
And finally, just do what we usually recommend. Leave your comment there. Leave your questions. Anything that you have in mind so that we can grow together.
Yes.
Your show from Boys to Men.
Thank you. Bye. It's all good.